You ever have that feeling where you're just drowning in data, but you're absolutely starving for real wisdom? Yeah, that's pretty much the daily reality for business leaders everywhere. So today, we're going to dive into the tool that's designed to turn all that chaos into clarity. It's called the Decision Support System, or DSS. Let's get into it.
So let's start with a really simple question. We have more information at our fingertips than any other time in history, right? So why does making the right call feel so much harder? And why are the stakes so much higher? Well, the answer really lies in the environment itself. We're not just making decisions in a vacuum. We're trying to make them inside what you could call a full-blown data storm. And this storm is fueled by some very specific, very relentless business pressures.
Just look at what's going on here. You've got information overload just bombarding you. You've got a global 24/7 economy with fierce competition. Your customers, they're more powerful and knowledgeable than ever. And all of this is happening in a near real-time, crazy fast-paced environment where your data is scattered all over the place. Put it all together, and you've got a situation where just going with your gut feeling, well, it just isn't going to cut it anymore.
So, if you're the pilot trying to fly through the storm, what you really need is a great co-pilot, right? And honestly, that's the absolute best way to think about a decision support system. It's the solution that was designed for this exact problem.
At its heart, the definition is pretty straightforward. A DSS is a specialized kind of computer system, but here's the key. It's not here to replace the decision maker. It's here to augment them, to help them take all that raw data, apply some really sophisticated models, and start to untangle these truly complex challenges. And this right here perfectly captures that whole philosophy. You see all that chaotic, tangled up information on the left? The DSS processes it, runs it through its analytical gears, and then presents clear, structured insights to the leader on the right. The system does the heavy lifting, but that final, strategic command, that still rests with human expertise. So, what's actually under the hood of this copilot? Let's pop it open and take a look at the three fundamental components that make every decision support system tick. Every single DSS is built on these three pillars. You've got the database, the model base, and the user interface. Each one plays a totally distinct and absolutely critical role in turning all that raw data into actual decisions. First up is the database. The best way to think of this is as the system's massive information warehouse. It pulls in all kinds of data, your internal sales numbers, inventory levels, but also external stuff like market trends or what your competitors are up to. It gathers everything into one spot to create a single source of truth for the entire system. Next, we have the model base, and let me tell you, this is the real powerhouse. This is so much more than a spreadsheet. It's a whole library of powerful analytical models. We're talking financial forecasts, statistical analyses, complex simulations. This is the part that lets you ask those critical what-if questions and actually see the likely outcomes of different strategies before you commit. And finally, we have the user interface. This is where the magic really happens for the decision maker. It's what lets you, the human, actually interact with all that complex data and powerful modeling without needing a PhD in computer science. It turns all that heavy analysis into simple, intuitive charts and graphs that you can actually use. Okay, so now we know how a DSS is built, but let's talk about what it's built for. See, these systems aren't designed for just any old problem. They have a very, very specific sweet spot. This right here gets to the absolute heart of it. On the left, you've got structured problems. Think of routine, repetitive stuff like processing payroll. There's a standard solution, it's predictable. But on the right, that's where you find the unstructured problems, the fuzzy, complex challenges like hiring a new CEO or launching a brand new product line. There's no cut-and-dried solution. And that messy territory is exactly where a DSS shines. And of course, it also excels right in that middle ground, in what we call semi-structured decisions, where you've got a mix of standard procedure and human judgment. A perfect example is setting a marketing budget. A DSS can crunch the data on past campaigns to project your ROI, that's the structured part, but a manager still needs to use their gut, their intuition, to decide how to bet on a new, unproven product. A DSS is perfect for that kind of blend. Now, just like you wouldn't use a hammer for every single job, not all decision support systems are created equal. They actually come in a few different flavors, and each one is specialized for a particular kind of task. You can basically break them down into 5 main categories. Each one is defined by its primary function, or, as our source material puts it, its mode of assistance. So let's break these down real quick. First, you've got model-driven systems. These are your what-if machines, perfect for things like financial forecasting. Then there are data-driven systems. Think of these as your deep dive tools for exploring huge amounts of historical data, like a retailer analyzing years of sales trends. After that, you've got communication-driven systems, which are all about teamwork and helping groups make decisions together. Then there are document-driven systems, which are like a super-powered search engine for unstructured info, say for a law firm digging through old case files. And finally, knowledge-driven systems. These act like an expert advisor, using a set of rules to suggest a course of action, kind of like a system for medical diagnosis. So, after all of this, what's the ultimate goal? I mean, why do organizations invest in these complex systems? Well, the real payoff isn't just about speed. It's about something much more fundamental. And this slide illustrates maybe the most important takeaway of all. Early computer systems were all about efficiency, about doing things right to save time and money. But a DSS, it's focused on effectiveness, on doing the right thing. The main goal isn't to help you make a decision faster, it's to help you make a better decision, period. And when you start focusing on effectiveness, all these other amazing benefits just naturally follow. You enhance the quality of your choices because they're based on actual evidence, not just speculation. You reduce the risk of human error and your own cognitive biases. And by automating all that heavy data analysis, you free up your best people to do what they do best: think strategically about the future. Which leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question to chew on. In a world where data is getting bigger and AI is getting smarter every single day, what is the future role of that human pilot? What's the future of our judgment in decision-making? Is it going to become more valuable or maybe less? It's definitely something to think about.